Hello, so welcome everybody. I just went live a few minutes early to let people start to log in. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes for where it is 5 p.m. my time. I'm in Israel today, and lovely to meet you, those of you that are coming in now. Hi there. So we are still a couple of minutes before the hour. I just want to give people a chance to log in and receive the notification that we're going to be talking about mindfulness at work. And in this 30 minutes together, we're going to be delving into very practical ways that you can practice mindfulness at work and also in life. So even though it's a minute before the time to start, if you're already with me, let me know by typing hello in the comments or hi in the comments. You can let me know where you are at the moment. It will be lovely to meet you and just welcome. So as you're coming in, I'm Samantha, Amit, and we're going to be spending 30 minutes together talking about mindfulness. I've been practicing mindfulness for over 2 decades, and I'm really excited to spend this 30 minutes together with you on talking about mindfulness at work and how this can be a strategic edge for you in management and in leadership. So if you are a manager and you have a team, then that's fantastic. If you don't have a team and you still are interested in mindfulness and how you can use mindfulness at work and at home, then you're at the right place, because definitely you're going to be getting lots of tools today for practicing mindfulness at work and in life. So welcome everybody. As you're coming in, I see some people are saying hi. Please comment hi as you're coming in. I'd love to know that you're here. And yes, let's jump right in to see what we're going to be doing today. So together we're going to be exploring about problems that I'm seeing. Now I'm seeing these problems all over the globe, not in one place. I'm seeing them across over 40 countries that I'm coaching in. And so when you see these problems and you hear about these problems, ask, okay, is this happening to me? And how can being more aware of it, which is already practicing mindfulness, help me? So we're going to be exploring problems. We're going to be looking at the why. Why should I actually care? And why should I actually even be practicing mindfulness? So a little bit about that and what is mindfulness. We're going to be looking at the ACT model, which is a model I developed together with Professor Passmore way back in 2017. And this model is, ACT is an acronym. It's the opposite of being passive. So I really want you to understand that if you're here and you're showing up, what's your why and what action are you going to be taking at the end of today's presentation so that you could be more mindful and bring mindfulness more into your life and into your work. And we're also you're going to be leaving with 3 easy techniques that you can incorporate and a gift. So stay till the end, because there's a gift that's going to be waiting for you. So what are the problems? The first problem, and ask, is this me? Is this always on? Are you working in a global environment? I mean, I work in tech. And in tech, most of my clients are in multiple locations all over the world. And so the time zones actually is a huge problem. It often creates a lot of tension in the system. And so mindfulness can be very helpful in an always on global environment to stop and choose what's important for me and what boundaries do I want to have. And how do I want to show up as a leader in this always on environment? Because that leads to problem number 2. Problem number 2 is about being too busy and pressurized. And what happens is people actually think it's a good thing to be busy. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, I'm pressurized. But do you want to live your life like that? And that's the big question, because being busy is maybe, it's feeling good, but it's actually the opposite of practicing mindfulness. Because if you want to practice mindfulness, what you want to be doing is actually slowing down, taking more time for reflection in your day, and we're going to be learning about that in a few minutes. So busy, 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 that's being less mindful. I like to call it, sometimes I am actually quite full on, and so I prefer to call it full on, but it's a conscious choice. Okay, so intention already is a mindfulness practice of how I intend to show up every day. Then the third problem is how you're managing your energy. Are you noticing what you like during the day? And energy management is a big thing. You would be surprised, even with senior managers, even with founders, even with CEOs. They also suffer from frustration. They also suffer from overwhelm and anxiety. It isn't just more on a junior level. It's actually all over. And that's why it's so important to be mindful, to notice what is going on with my energy. So maybe even now, notice what's your energy like right now and what emotions present right now. So if you do that, you're already practicing mindfulness. The fourth problem that I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of fear in the system. And there's a lot of fear. If you are an up-and-coming emerging leader, then what's hard is to delegate. Delegation is not the easiest thing to do because you actually have to let go of something that you're so good at, and you have to trust somebody else to do it as well as you, and you know they're not going to do it as well as you. So there's a lot of fear. And with mindfulness, what's beautiful is that you actually learn to meet fear in a new way, because fear is a good emotion. Fear is very normal, and it comes into place whenever you need to often do something that's high risk or do something that's new for you. And so we're going to be practicing that more. In coaching, I actually do a lot of new things. So we experiment a lot in the coaching. And so we meet fear a lot, and then we invite in courage more. And as you know, courage always comes with fear. So that's a very interesting thing to play with. The next problem I want to talk about is complaints. And I don't know what it's like where you're working, but people complain a lot today. They can complain about everything. So notice, what is it? Is it you complaining? Is it your team complaining? Are there people around you complaining? And be mindful of that. And is that how you choose to live? So already now you can be making a mindful intention. I actually want to see things in a more positive light. I want to grow that, that competency of putting on those glasses to be more positive. And so that can be very, very rewarding. So the next problem I'm seeing is frustration. And the frustration often comes from lack of transparency or lack of communication. And it's much better to over-communicate rather than under-communicate. And when there's miscommunication as well, it causes such problems. It causes such frustration, irritation, annoyance, disappointment. And these are all reactions that are happening in the system. And if you're mindful of that, you can meet it in a different way. Another problem that I'm seeing is that people find it difficult to interact and work with people that are different to them, and they find that difficult. And so if you're working with somebody who you feel is difficult, maybe they're just different to you, and maybe you can just be a bit more mindful and actually figure out ways that you can work better with them. Recently I was on a conference and speaking about mindfulness. And on that conference, I spoke about, one of my clients in China. And I said to her, Sue, you don't have to like the people you work with. You just need to actually respect them and work with them. And so if you just let go of not having to like everybody, it can be so much more easier to work with people. So a big part of mindfulness is just slowing down and noticing, okay, what are my problems, or what problems are around me, and actually understanding that you can meet them in a new way And there are different things that you can do that they actually don't become a problem. The next thing I want to talk about is results, results, and results. That's the last problem that I've got here. And the reason why I've named it is because I have so much experience in coaching senior leaders, founders, and managers that are highly successful. So these highly successful people are also super ambitious, and they've done really well in their lives. And so why they've done well is because they are very results orientated. Now, when you're very results orientated, that's fantastic. But then you're always on the go and you're always on the run from one result to the next. And you often don't get to enjoy the journey. And so you're this high achiever going from success to success. And what mindfulness is actually the biggest gift, because mindfulness teaches us to enjoy the journey. And when we start to notice the journey and we can also appreciate the journey, we can bring in more curiosity along the journey. We show up and we can enjoy our lives much more. And so that's very rewarding. So I want to jump into one specific example that happens a lot. And this is where you can bring mindfulness already in. You know, we get a lot of emails, maybe too many emails every day. If you get a lot of emails, you may want to just type yes in the comments that I know that I'm listening, that you're listening to me, because I can't see you. You know, this is a live event. So this is an example of a senior director. She was new to the company and she sent an email out. And she got a return email from a VP in sales who was quite short and he was rude. And he misunderstood her ask, and so he reacted. And so is this normal? What do you think? Well, yes, it's actually quite normal, because what actually happens is that in organizations today, many people will react to emails that are sent. They'll misunderstand them, there'll be miscommunication, and they'll respond in a way that you say, why is she or he saying that? What is going on here? And so they're triggered, you triggered, the overwhelm comes up, the frustration comes up, or the disappointment comes up. And the question is, how quickly do you come back to center? That's what we call resilience. And mindfulness is an amazing tool, because all these things are normal. And so what we want to do is we want to be more aware in the moment so that we can build this resiliency muscle of coming back to center. And so I want to give you another example, okay? Another example is of Greg, and this happened just this week. So Greg told me he was so frustrated. He was in a meeting and he felt like he was the police in this meeting. He felt like he was so aggressive. And he said to me, you know, Sam, I don't want to manage like this anymore. It doesn't suit me to be this manager that, you know, is super aggressive. And I want to learn a new way. And how he actually even figured out, because part of the time what happens to us is we walk around on automatic pilot and we don't even realize we're frustrated. We don't even realize we're overwhelmed. Half the time we don't even realize the anxiety that we're feeling. And so when this happens, this is what causes, you know, mental problems, physical problems, the stress that just goes up, because we're actually even unaware of what's going on, because we're just so busy all the time. And that's when burnout sometimes hits. That's when sometimes you just become unmotivated, because you don't have time to process what's going on for you. And so mindfulness is backed by research. It's backed by science. If you just choose one technique that I'm going to be teaching you today, you're going to already feel how you are learning so much more about what's going on. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It is going to be something new that you may be trying. Maybe you're already practicing mindfulness, like, for example, through yoga. Yoga is a type of mindfulness. So What is it that you want? And why are you here? So that's also very helpful to understand your intention. Are you here because you want some more emotional and mental resilience? Are you here because you want more positivity and calm in your life? Do you want to navigate challenges with ease? Do you want more clear communication? Do you want your team to support each other and have increased collaboration? Do you want to grow your team and grow the business? If you answer yes to any of these, then for sure mindfulness is an absolute must for you to start practicing. It can really change and be a superpower for you. So, hi, I'm Samantha Amit. Maybe you don't know me. Who am I? And where do I come with all this mindfulness experience? So, believe it or not, I have a book that I wrote in 2017. It was published. I wrote it together with Professor Passmore. I am a mindful leadership coach today. Mindfulness is my superpower. I bring it into my coaching with 43 different countries. I've written and I've created 2 online mindfulness courses, mindful leadership courses. And because not everybody has access to this, everybody doesn't have access to coach with me, I have these live events where I have one also in a week's time. So in the comment, you can already sign up for the next event. It's going to be in a week's time. And I'm going to continue to provide you with mindful leadership, here live, that you can take one very practical thing and you can bring it into your work and into your life. So these are practices that I'm doing every day. When I am coaching leaders, I'm coaching them in, 43 different countries. So just the other day, I was in Singapore, England, Spain, Germany, Singapore, back again, France, and then back home to Israel. So in one day, I'm in 5 or 6 different countries, and that's what helps me. Mindfulness is my superpower. If you are working in a global setting, then you definitely need mindfulness, because you need to be able to flex your communication and understand that people are different. And mindfulness really gives you that beginner's mind to understand what you can do differently in the moment, so that you are that more aware of what's going on and that you can respond instead of react. So, what is the definition of mindfulness? So one definition is to pay attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. So even now, what's your attention like? When we multitask, we can't really be purposeful and in the moment. We're not really present. And the non-judgment piece is an important part of the definition. Why it's important is our minds naturally judge. And so what we want to do is we want to train our minds to be more positive, to be more curious, to be able to put judgment aside and really be present with the people we're with. Just think what your work and life would be like is when you meet somebody and you really give them your full attention. And in your mind, your thinking is not about, there's no chatter going on in the background. So that's the paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally. And so how can you practice mindfulness? You can practice mindfulness through meditation. So as I mentioned before, some of you may be already doing yoga, Tai Chi, and also on my YouTube channel, I have a walking meditation. If you're already walking, you may want to integrate mindfulness into your walking. You're walking already. And so just going to YouTube, type in Samantha Amit, please subscribe to my channel, and type in walking meditation, and you'll be able to practice that as well. So meditation is one way. Another way is through other practices. And so other practices could be just a short drop in. It could be a 3-minute meditation. You don't need to practice for 30 minutes. So maybe what we should do is we should try one right now. So we're going to now practice a meditation. So I'm going to ask you, if possible, to find a place to sit down. If it's not possible, then just listen to me and see what you can do with the exercise. So I'm going to ask you to find a place to sit. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Okay? So let's just get comfortable. And our intention is just to take it lightly. And we're just going to be spending like 3 minutes to practice mindfulness. It's a mindfulness sitting. And I'm going to be walking you through it. So don't worry about anything. If you do feel comfortable, then I am going to invite you already to close your eyes and just see if you can feel your feet. Maybe your feet on the floor. Just feel them on the floor. And let's start off by just welcoming yourself into the space. So you can say welcome in your name. I'm going to say welcome, Sam. And let's just take a few breaths. Maybe this is the first time you're really noticing your breath consciously. So let's breathe in and breathe out. So you're doing great. Let's take 3 breaths, breathing in life. And breathing out any tension. Breathing in life. And breathing out any tension. And again, let's breathe in life. And you can even give an audible out breath. And as you're sitting here, just notice, how's your body feeling right now? And you may notice, what's the internal landscape like? What's the weather like right now? Is it sunny within? Maybe there's a bit of wind. Maybe for you it's even a little bit more stormy. Just notice it, like observe it. And coming back to the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And let's just notice if there are thoughts present right now and what they are. Just being curious around your thinking. And so on the next in-breath, just coming back to my voice and your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And just registering where your awareness was a moment ago. And so you're being mindful. This is really what mindfulness is about. And perhaps noticing sound right now. And just noticing what emotion or emotions are present and naming them. And coming back to the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And as we come to the end of this mindfulness meditation, you may want to give thanks for just dropping into stillness for a few minutes. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah, so well done. That was a mindfulness meditation that you practiced. And this meditation is also available on my YouTube under Samantha Amit. You can type in 3-minute mindfulness meditation and you're welcome to practice. So I'd like to give another example of John. John is a leader. He's actually in the fintech, and his business brings in 1.2 billion a year, which is quite a lot. And the problem with John is he sometimes over focuses on the 10% that isn't working. And so what the coaching really helped is to actually bring more celebration into the 90% that is. So it is important to notice what isn't working. It is important, it is important to notice the 10%. But the question is, how do you view the 10%? And are you able to zoom out and see the full picture? And that the 10% doesn't get you overly anxious or overly, overwhelmed on some days or frustrated on some days, that you can take things in a different perspective. And so that's really important. And this brings me to a model, which is a technique that I want you to take away with. So this model is from the book Mindfulness at Work. And the model is an acronym ACT, A-C-T. And it is that because mindfulness is an act. It's something that you have to be really, really purposeful about. And so the ACT model has 3 dimensions. So the first dimension is about you and yourself. How can you achieve more? And to do that, you need to really watch what's going on with your energy. You have to watch how productive you are. You have to watch, what's making you unproductive, what's making you stressed out. And you have to get more of a balance. You need to be resilient. You need to watch your energy during the day and manage yourself well and see what competencies do I need to upskill in. So it's being mindful of how am I and where are the gaps. And then the connect is my one-on-one relationships. It's my one-on-one relationships with my team. It's my one-to-many relationships with my team. So that's the second pillar. So I want to be aware of how I am in relation, okay? And then the T is the thrive piece. It's the ecosystem. What are the cross teams like? How does my team interact with another team? And is that going well? What's the team communication like? What's the collaboration cross team like? And so this I've called thrive because we want to thrive instead of survive in a cross team. So we want to be holding all these 3 dimensions actually almost during the day and be intentional of it. And so let me give you an example. So I've just been working with another manager in fintech, and he recently went to Singapore. So why did he go to Singapore? Because there's been a huge reorg. The GM was let go and everything's been reorganized. His whole team is being reorganized. So I said to him, well, Paul, what do you need to focus on now? And so he's looked on all these areas of where he needs to be intentional for himself. So he needs to be mindful. He needs to be intentional during the day and during the week. What about his teams? So he needs to focus because he's got a team of 50 people. He can't focus on everything. He has to focus on his top managers. So he's got 7 managers he's leading. He has to meet one-on-one with all those 7 managers and see that they're okay with the reorg and see what support they need from him. So that's the connection piece, how he is in relation and how he's managing his team so that there can be mental resilience, so that there can be emotional resilience with the big change. And then there's, the thrive piece of how they're going to be interacting, all of them. So what I want to do now is, and so that's the cross-team interaction. So what I want to do now is do a bit of a summary of what we've done. So we looked at problems. In the problems, we looked at what are my problems? And so the idea is for you to do like you do in business, when you have a discovery phase or you're looking at the system and seeing, okay, what problems we want to solve in business, you need to do the same thing with yourself. Like, what are my issues that I can level up on and see them? And then number 2 is choose, what do I want? What's your vision for being a leader? What's your vision for being, for leadership? And so how does mindfulness fit into that? What is your intention? And so in order to practice more mindfulness, we actually practiced today. We did the 3-minute meditation, which is on my YouTube. We look now at the ACT leadership model and how you can hold all those 3 perspectives of the Achieve, Connect, and Thrive. And now what I want to do is I want to give you a gift from me. So if you go into my LinkedIn profile, you go into LinkedIn and you type in Samantha Amit, you're going to get to my profile. If you scroll down, you're going to see something called Free Mindfulness Challenge. This is a gift that I want to give to you. All the leaders that coach with me do this work, okay? And I've put it all into a free course that's just for you. When you click on that link, you'll be taken into my website, askyourcoach.com, and you'll be able to fill out your details, and you will get free access to this 5-week mindful leadership course. What it is, it's an email course that every week you're going to get an exercise. You're going to get an email from me, and you're going to get a handout where you can start practicing mindfulness during your week. It's related to the meetings that you're in or the conversations that you're in. And this can help you really gain insight around your emotional intelligence, your emotional awareness, what's happening with your resilience, what's happening with your mental resilience, and how you're reacting in the moment. So do that now. I really want to thank you for attending. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you. Do connect with me on your favorite social media. In the comments, you'll be able to see when the next LinkedIn Live is. Please sign up for it if you want to make sure that you're going to join me live. And I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear how you're practicing mindfulness, and just wishing you a beautiful day. Be mindful, bring intention, make the world a better place. And thank you so much. Bye for now, Samantha Amit.